In this video we're going to take a look at group masters. Now if I place a cue on stage, we're all familiar enough with the Grandmaster. That's the one we should always have up, and no accidents please. And group masters allows us to master individual pieces of the rig. So we can assign a fader to be a master for intensities, for part of the rig, FX size or FX speed for a specified set of heads. Let's take a look at this with intensities. If I take my front of house instruments and put them at some intensity, I'm just going to put them at 22%. The value is arbitrary. We just have to put some intensity into the programmer. So I'm going to record this to playback 10, and then I'm going to triple click my playback 10 and set its function to be an intensity master yes. Clear the programmer, and now its behavior has changed. I've got to run the fader up, then hit the go button, and at full on the fader my intensities are going to play back as they were recorded in the cues that on the faders that are up on the left hand side. So now I'm going to run that down, and you can see that I have intensity control over just the front of house instruments. Another word for this would have been inhibitive submasters in the old school days. So that's a group master for intensities. Now you can do this a different way. We'll look at that. You can go to your front of house instruments and record those to a playback and come in here and simply use that as an intensity master. So that's a bit of a shortcut there. Now let's take a look at using group masters to control size. Let's take group 7 and we'll apply full intensity and a position of straight down. Let's record this to playback 1 and label it. Clear the programmer and let's put that on stage. Now let's take group 7 again and we're going to select an FX. Let's have a circle position effect and let's adjust the size and the time until we're satisfied, and then record this to playback 2, label it, clear the programmer, and now let's go on and take our group 7 again, and this time we're going to manipulate just the pan. So 7 star star, position, and just manipulate pan information. And if we go over and look in the programmer at levels, we can see the pan information in there, and it's not important what value of pan information we have. Let's record this to playback 10. Triple click the functions on the playback and set its size master as yes. Let's clear the programmer. We'll get the effect going, and then we're going to run the fader up and hit go just as before. And as I bring that down, it's going to remove pan information. When there's no pan, I've only left with a tilt effect. So we've changed the outcome of that effect. Let's label it. And let's go on and do the same thing, but this time we're going to manipulate tilt. So let's put some tilt information in the programmer, and let's record that to playback 9. Set its function to a size master. And now when I remove tilt, I'm just left with a pan effect, and because those were straight down, you don't see any outcome when all of the tilt has been removed. If I place some of this back in along with some pan, you can see that I can manipulate the effects live and get different outcomes depending on the level of those faders.